Okay, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David. Baruch Hashem, another beautiful morning here in Efrat. Unbelievable. It's the best place to be as a Shira David. And we're in the middle of our lessons in Hilchos Tefillin. We're in Halacha Hey, and we're in the middle of lesson Lamed Beis 32. Right? That's where we left off yesterday. Okay. So then we end off over here. We ended off, let's see, where should we start now? Okay, let's start off. Okay, all these things that we're talking about, all of the kfira, of the melech zaken uksil, right? Of the old foolish king, right? That doesn't want to let you believe things are new. And he doesn't want to allow for new births, and he doesn't want to allow new neshamas to come into the world, right? So that's the main point where the Yetzer Hara grabs in today, and he takes his effect. He takes his effect today at the end of the Golus, because again we said that the end of the Golus that we're in is the same thing as being in the birthing canal. And that pain that the mother's going through, and the pain that the baby's going through, right? Right. I'm sure it's not comfortable for the baby, also, right? It's not a comfortable. The baby was very comfortable, and now the baby is squishing through. It's not a very comfortable thing, and that's the pain of the Golus. That's the pain of the birthing of our Geula. But we have to understand that we will be redeemed. We will be redeemed. But the Yetzer Hara, he comes in and he grabs into that idea that you're stuck and you can't get out, that you will not be born, there will not be any, there'll only be exile, and there won't be any redemption. That's what he said to you. You can't get out, you're stuck. Oy, Nebuch, but it's not true. The Rebbe says you're not stuck. That comes from that voided, vacated space. Right? Back to the voided, vacated space. Where Amalek is screaming, I'm the first. I'm the first. You're stuck. You're old. You're old. You can't change. You can't do anything. That's Amalek. He's screaming. But the Rebbe screams loud and he says, you can change and you will change. How you like that word, huh? Ha-philosophium. You know what that philosophy?
Philosophy.
Here we go. Here we go. Wow. Isn't it great you speak English? Yeah. You knew that word, right?
Well, I was listening to what you were saying. I was able to pick it up.
Yeah, philosophy.
When you're reading those words, you
philosophy. Philosophy.
Yeah.
That's a modern Hebrew word today. Yeah. That's how they say philosophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have all kind of questions, but it's impossible to answer their questions. Why? Because their questions are all dependent, and the answers are on Emuna. And unless a person is a Mamin B'Hashem, there are no answers. You can't answer these kind of questions that they ask. They want to understand, why was this created this, and why was that created that? Why is this like this? Why is that? Because Hashem decided that that's how it's going to be. He knows ultimately how it is. Shemisham kol ha'apikursius. That's where they come in, because again, they're not maminim, they don't believe in Hashem, and then they have these questions, and these questions are very blatant, very, very brazen questions. But the answers, again, like in most philosophical discussions, and that's why Rabbi Nachman always tells us, stay away from philosophy, right? Stay away from philosophy. Why? Because if you get involved in philosophy, you get stuck. You can get stuck because the questions are stronger than the answers. Because the answers are really dependent on Emuna. And if you have Emuna, you don't have the questions. Right?
Right.
And that's where all the Yetzer Haras come from. All people, from this idea. They understand they're just stuck in this place, in their vacated space. They're stuck in that place. And they're just part of this world, and they just subscribe to the world, and then they just go for it. Ki shirish kol yitzra mroyim, because the root of all of the Yetzaharas, all of the taivas, all of the things, like we were discussing a moment ago, right? The taiva of michshol, right? The taiva of promiscuity, right? Immorality, the taiva of eating, the taiva of mammon, the taiva of covet, right? Honor, right? All of that stuff. It's all comes from the same thing. It's no good. Hu bechinas el acher. That's like another God, turning to another God, because Hashem doesn't want those things. That place of the chol apani, that vacated space. That's where the Amalek set himself in. Reishis Goyim Amalek. He set himself in over there, and from that place of the beginning of creation comes all the kfira, everything. Why? Because Hashem wanted what? That there should be bechira in the world. We have to have free choice. Hashem wanted us to have free choice in the world. And the only way we can have free choice to choose God is if Hashem withdraws His light from that vacated space, to allow for man to possibly say, there is no God. But we know that that's not the truth. And it's so strong right now. And again, that's why the world is going through so much pain, right? There's so much in pain. There's so much blessing in the world today. Perhaps more blessing and more wealth and more food and more bounty in the world today than ever before. But yet people are so depressed. People have so much anxiety. Why? Why do they have to be so much anxiety? People used to be worried they didn't have any food to eat. They had mama's Sunday. What are they worried about today?
Maybe that's the problem.
They'd have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
So they think of things to worry about.
Yeah.
But that's all the Yetzirah. No, but Hashem is making it so good. He makes it so good for man today, right? Nobody really has to go hungry today in Western society, right? You want to say something, David?
I just say man has a vacated space in his brain, and it gets filled with junk.
It's not vacated. It's just full of junk.
Well, that's what we said. We have to empty out all of that stuff.
All the chametz.
We have to empty it all out to allow the good stuff to come in.
But a melech fills it up fast.
Huh?
Melech gets in there and fills it up.
He fills it up with all kind of.
And depression is his goal.
We can't think that
That's
way.
it. We
can't think that we let him fill it up fast. We are emptying it faster than he can fill it.
Okay, I understand, but David is saying that he's always getting in there. That's the point. He's always getting in there. He's saying, you meet somebody on the street, tells you what's going on in Iran, and they'll tell you what's going on over here with the Saudi. They'll tell you what's going on over there in Jenin, right? Jenin, and they'll tell you what's going on over there in Jericho, right? Okay, all this stuff, right? Fill up all the mind with all the things. Wow, what's going to be?
Meantime, the car's full of groceries, full of gas.
Baruch Hashem.
Full of air conditioning, full of everything.
Any convenience, any convenience you want. Really.
We get hydroponic vegetables delivered to our door.
Unbelievable, right?
Unbelievable.
Really, the blessing that we have in the world today is unbelievable, really. But again, the other side. Yeah. No, but if we have to, that's the point. We have to stop to think about it. We have to stop to think about it.
Of course.
And if we do think about it, if we do think about it, we see the blessings of Hashem. And how can we not want to do Hashem's will?
Let's be grateful.
How can we not want to do Hashem's will after He gives us such blessing in the world, right? He gives us everything we need. He takes care of us. Tati's always taking care of us.
Who?
Father.
You said Tati?
Yeah.
That's what I call him.
Malkein tzrichin lizoy laniach Tefillin Rabeinu Tam sheim amoichin imshachem me'atzadikim sheyicholim lichnois l'sham. And if we put on the Rabeinu Tam Tefillin, because they're connected to the tzadikim that can go into that vacated space, and they can extract all those neshamas and all those souls that got stuck in there, and they can't get out. They can go into that beginning space of that vacated space, and they can battle with Amalek. That's where Amalek checked in. But the tzaddikim, the great tzaddikim, can go into that space. They're protected. They won't get infected by it. They have the right inoculations, right? So they can go there, they can be in that place, and they can take back all those souls, and they work on bringing back the souls. And they work on sweetening the judgment, this judgment that voided space brought. And they come to reveal godliness in the world, godliness. Is Hashem. That's what Avraham Avinu was doing, right? What was Avraham Avinu doing? Screaming, "This God, what are you doing? Why are you bowing down to that idol?" I can tell you all about that idol. That was Avraham Avinu going into that Chalal Apani. What do you think he was doing? He was going into that vacated space. He understood all of that stuff. He understood all of the idols, and he understood it was all nonsense. But he understood it, that he was able to explain it to each one. This one believed in this idol. This one believed in that God. So he explained to them all about their God and how it's nonsense. He explained to them all about how this idol is nonsense. He understood it. He went into there, but that's Avraham Avinu. Again, Emuna. Lo idea livnei adam gvuraisav, to tell over to man the greatness of Hashem, to let him know the gvura of Hashem, the awesome power of Hashem. Shegam v'chol ha'poni v'chol ha'kushis v'akrius ba'atzmam nimshacham imeni yizbarach ba'atzmai. That all these questions are really coming from where? Hashem. Hashem is raising all of these questions. You hear this? It's Hashem that's raising the questions. Let's not give the credence to the Amalek. No, it's Hashem. Hashem is bringing all of this stuff today, all this gender stuff and all of this nonsense. Hashem is bringing it into the world in order for us to have bechira, to choose the right thing. You hear this? You see what the Rebbe says over here? Nimshach mimeni yizbarach ba'atzmai. Hashem himself. Ki hu mechayes kula. Because Hashem gives life. He gives life to everything. Kayadu, as we all know, and this we do know. This we do know, this we do believe. Ki efsha leida mimeni yizbarach ki im al yedei ha'eder ha'yediyah. You can only know HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's impossible to know Hashem. Ki im al yedei ha'eder ha'yediyah. Unless you have that the lacking of the knowledge. The lacking of the knowledge. What knowledge are we talking about? Shekodma liyadiyah. That we have to understand that it's really before the knowledge. Hashem is before all of the knowledge. Hashem is before everything. Shehema kushiyas hanal. These are the questions that we asked, that these people asked from the chalal, these vacated people, these from the vacated space. Bechinas chalal apana, that come from that space, from that place. Bechinas istaklis hadas, to look at the das. The koyach to understand, the ability to understand and to attain that it's Hashem. There was really Hashem that took away his light from there. Hashem took his way of light. It was his decision to do that. It was Hashem's decision to do that. To make place for the creation of the world, of the universe, to make creation. A place for that creation. So that way people can come and recognize Hashem and proclaim Hashem in the world. Look over there, well, in that lesson from Menachem. Now the Rebbe is going to say here, beautiful. And therefore, what we have to do is, we have to have Emuna. We have to have Emuna before we have any das. To know it's all Hashem. To always believe it's all you, Rabbi Nishalayim. Shehua Ikar. Shal Yedei Zeh Meshabrin HaKlipa HaKaidemes Lepri. And that's how you can break the peel, the husk that comes before the fruit. That's how you can peel the fruit and reveal the fruit with Emuna. And that was, we said, that the vacated space is the husk, is the peel that the world was filled into. That vacated space was the peel, right? We said that's the peel. That was the peel, the peel that the fruit grows into. Hashem made the peel in order for that the world creation can grow into it. Ki al yedei Emuna oivrim ala kol, because through Emuna we can pass through anything. No matter what's going on in life. If we're maminim, we know when maminim b'nei maminim. Right? We maminim, and we're the children of maminim. And we believe, and we're the children of believers. And we believe in the Rabeinu Shalom. We goes back all the way to Avram Avinu. And through that we could pass through anything. We could be successful with anything. Bizeu, and this is the idea, the questions. You can pass through the questions through Emuna. Gam came bechinas hamabarta shel tefillin. So now we're back to that little passageway of the tefillin. The back of the box, right? The base of the box has that little carved out section, right? And that's where the ritzua, the strap, goes through, right? That's the mabarta. It's ma'avir. The ritzua goes through, passes through to teach us what? Through Emuna, I can pass through anything in the world. Isn't it beautiful how the tefillin every little aspect of the tefillin is there to teach us more Emuna, more Emuna. It's unbelievable. It's so beautiful. The mabarta, the tefillin, ki al yedei tefillin, through tefillin, through having our holy phylacteries, shehem ischachus hamaychen, that's with the renewing of our mind every day. The tefillin remind me that you're a new person every single day. Shezoichen al yedei Emuna, through the Emuna, believing that we're new every day. We're new. Shal yedei zeh oivrim halakol, you can get through anything. No matter what sent you away that day, you could pass through it with flying colors. Why? Because you have Emuna. Kishu chazak be'emunasa yamim b'shonim harbe. After a person is serving Hashem for many, many years with his Emuna, and he passes through days and years, he serves Hashem with Emuna pshuta, with simple Emuna, that he just believes that it's all Hashem, and even though I don't understand it, it doesn't matter. I know Hashem, you understand it, and I trust in you, Hashem. I trust in you. After a person lives their life like that for a while, then you start to understand Hashem, and you start to have knowledge of Hashem. You start to understand Hashem. In other words, after you work on it for a long time, you start to understand the way Hashem works. Nifli, the wonders of Hashem. Haba al yedei Emuna, that come to us through Emuna. Bechinas mati v'loy mati. What does it mean? If I understand or I don't understand, it doesn't matter. Whether I understand or I don't understand, I understand that it's you, Hashem. I know it's you, Hashem. Like we say in the beautiful Tehillim, right? Chav Zayin, right? We say that in the Achas Shual. We say that all the time during the month of Elul, right? It's coming up. Lachseis b'nayim Hashem, to bask in the sweetness of Hashem, and to visit Hashem's heichal, his chamber. Bikesh David HaMelech olav Shalom kol yamav. David HaMelech was requesting this. David HaMelech was crying, and he was begging for this all his life. Kamaisha kasav acha shualti meis Hashem oisei avakesh. One thing I'm asking from you, Hashem. Achashwalti meis Hashem. Oisavakish. You is what I'm requesting. I'm requesting you, Hashem. This is my request. I'm requesting you in my life, Hashem. This is what David HaMelech teaches us. And we learned that the tefillin, right? The tefillin, the strap in the back of the neck, right? That we put on our back of our neck, right? That strap, that's what we said is like David. That's the neshama of David HaMelech. Remember we learned that? Right? The strap. It's the dalit, right? Dalit for David, right? That's the tzur b'tzur achayim. That binds us with Hashem. That binds us with life, with the ultimate life. That's David HaMelech. Achas shoalti meis Hashem. Oisavakish. You Hashem. That's what I'm asking. I want you Hashem. And therefore, our only hope that we have today to get out of this gullus, to pass through the birth pangs of our birthing, shel hageula, to get through the birth pangs of the delivery, and to get to the geula. That's so strong right now in Klal Yisrael. Anyone that's trying to come into the way of holiness, the Eitzahar is strong, is so strong, and he attacks him so much so. He just is attacking everybody today. Because again, the Eitzahar doesn't want, he knows his end is coming. He knows his end is on its way. And he's trying to prolong it. He's trying his best. So anyone that tries to come in, he tries to knock them down. He tries to knock them down. But our main hope is, we need the koyach, we need the power, we need the might of the tzaddikim. Rabeinu Tam. They're connected to the mayach, to the mind of the tefillin of the Rabeinu Tam. They're very, very lofty. Because again, the whole idea that Tefillin Rabeinu Tam is teaching us what? That it's whatever you're going through in life, it's really a chesed Hashem. It's really Hashem. Don't look at the problem that you're going through and see the problem for the problem. See what's the end, what's the reason why Hashem sent that problem. How do I get out of this problem? With Emuna. I can get out of this problem with Emuna. Therefore, we have to be very careful now that we put on the Rabeinu Tam Tefillin. See that?
I just ordered mine yesterday.
Wow, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. You see that? Wow, Baruch Hashem. You're making the Rebbe very proud. I'm serious. This is what we're trying to do here, right? Kidei l'karev ha'geula, to bring the geula closer, to bring the idea of the geula closer. That it's really all you, Hashem, and all of the problems and all of the things that we're going through. It's really the Chesed Hashem. It's really the Chesed Hashem. Bichlal Efrat b'mheira b'yameinu. It's coming to us very speedily in our day. The geula, the final redemption. Oh, we're waiting for that moment, Chevra. Oh, Bichlal B'frat B'mheira V'yameinu. Speedily in our day, that geula is coming. Sheyizke kol echad legalois nafshoy lohaitzi mi'agolos hamar. That each person will be able to reveal his nefesh elikus, his holy soul. Lohaitzi mi'agolos hamar. To come out of the bitter exile. From the foolishness and the naught of this world that people subscribe to, the silliness of this world, to reveal his nefesh elikus, his holiness, shenilka, that's trapped by him, that's trapped, but it'll be revealed to us. We'll be able to be free. We'll be able to be free from that. It's unbelievable. Now it's trapped, but we're going to be free. We're going to be free. And we need mamash the Tefillin Rabeinu Tam. Help us bring us that quicker. Help us to realize that it's all past the Chalul HaPani. It's all back to the Machshava of Hashem. And then when we connect to the Machshava of Hashem, we have the goodness of Hashem. So now the Rebbe says, V'tzrichin Lizbol Chevle Leida Mamish, Lizbol Kishui Haylada Mamish. We have to endure the birth pangs. We have to endure the birthing process. B'frat v'haschola, specifically where it starts. But now we know we're at the end. We're at the end to see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know they have that expression where you can see the light at the end of the tunnel? We're mamash at the light at the end of the tunnel right now. V'litzai kama v'kama kolin. And we have to scream many screams, many cries. Mitza'akais v'ginachais, and groans and moans. Shel ach ve'oivei. We scream ach oivei, and all kind of things like that. The kama kefilos, and how many different kind of movements do we have to move in order to do that? V'hatois, right? V'hatois, that we have to turn ourselves towards Hashem. Before we're going to be able to birth the holiness of our souls. To take it out of its exile. True bechinas haylada, that's the idea of haylada, that's the idea of being birthed. Kamuva be'er heite b'tchilas ha'torah v'yoyma bikurim v'yesa arvim. That's in the beginning of that. That's how we're going to get to the Geula Shlema. That's how we're going to get to the final redemption. It'll be established speedily in our day. Raniv akara loy yolda. Simchi Yerushalayim shleisa akara shaloy yolda. It's going to be that the akara, the akara, the barren one, will actually give birth. The barren one will be able to give birth. Am I going to put you on the birthing stool and you're not going to give birth, Hashem says? Am I going to do that to a person, to sit onto that stool, and she's not going to be able to give birth? Hashem says that, am I going to put you through these things in life? All these things to let you have, to see the redemption? Of course you're going to see the redemption, but you have to have the Emuna. You have to have the Emuna. Ki chola gam yolda tzia in espanel. Ki chola gam yolda tzia in espanel. You know what that means, David?
I'm reading. Did you just start 33?
No, right? The last word. The last words are 32.
Zion has travailed and has given birth to her children.
How do you like that? You want to read that one more time, slowly?
Shall I travail and not give birth? For Zion has travailed and has given birth to her children. Amen.
Amen. You heard that? That's what it's all about. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling, these are the most beautiful words.
We're being born.
We're being born. Mama, Tzion is going to be born. Tzion is the Jewish people, right?
Yeah.
Anytime you see Tzion, that's a code word for the Jewish people.
Yeah.
So is it going to be that where that Hashem puts us through all of these things to not be redeemed? Of course not. Hashem wants to redeem us. Hashem will redeem us. We will see the salvation. We will see the salvation.
The signs of birth and death are exactly the same: blood, tears, screaming, crying, pain. But one is birth. You can either look at it as death or birth. Same stuff. Same.
Wow,
same
very
stuff.
interesting. Very interesting.
And that's what's going on. We're looking at, the news and everything is death.
But it's birth.
Bad.
But
But it's really
birth.
something new is being born, and but you got to have your eyes open. You got to have.
Yeah, you have to be like the blind beggar, right?
Yeah.
You have to be blind to all of that
Right
nonsense.
stuff.
Be blind to all of that nonsense. Blind to all of that nonsense. Never look at that nonsense, and pay attention to what and see what you're supposed to see. It's all in the story. It's all part of the story.
Right.
When we say Emuna,
Yes.
I'm finding, I'm going to do something to remind me of this. Because Emuna, many times people think it's God, but it's God, it's the Torah, it's the Tzadikim, and
the
faith
Jewish
in yourself.
Right, the Zohar says it's three things. It's Araisa, Kutubrichu, Yisrael, Kula Echad. Right? The Torah, the Jewish people, and Hashem are one unit. We're all one unit. We're one. We are one unit. The Jewish people, we understand us. We understand that we're one with Hashem. Why? Because we all have an neshama in us. Right? We have an neshama. And the neshama is a chelik elikam imal. It's a part of God. So of course I'm one with God, right? Because if I have a piece of God in me, if God is running me, right? If I have God in me, so of course I'm one with God, right? So now you understand, right? And then we understand that the Torah is all the names of God, So the Torah is one with God. The Jewish people is one with the Torah, which means that the Jewish people are one with the Torah and one with God. And the Torah is one with God and the Jewish people. It's all one. You understand?
I understand that. I mean, Rabbi Kramer said yesterday there are 4 things.
Yeah. And it's tzaddikim.
But also
No. That's what we taught. We learned about tefillin, right? The 3 and the 4. Right, the 3. We said that the idea that the chachma and the bina, right? We have chachma, bina, and das, right? Chabad, right? Chachma, bina. But when you have the right chachma and the right bina, so then the das gets broken into 2. It turns into chesed and to gevura, right? The chachma, which is on the side of the right side, chesed's on the right side. Bina is on the left side. Gvura is also on the left side. So the chachma, the chachma and the bina, make the das. The das turns into 2, and that's the shin with the 3 and the shin with the 4. That's how you have 4. Of course, Rabbi Kramer was probably talking about also the tzaddikim, because how are you going to get to Hashem? How are you going to get to the recognition of Hashem if you don't have the tzaddikim? So you have to have the Emuna and the tzaddikim as well.
Okay, so, but he also said...
Yes.
He said you have to have Emuna, I don't even know what Emuna means yet, really, what the translation is.
Faith in God.
Faith in God, faith in Torah.
Yes.
Faith in tzaddikim, and faith in yourself. Those were the 4
Yeah. That's right. We learned about that. We learned that, sure. Yeah.
Where do we pick up faith in ourselves? Because it's a complete thing. We have to.
You have to believe. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself that you're good.
But where did
and you have the good point.
You're telling us that all the time to look for the good.
I know.
That's your mantra. So I hear it from you.
Looking for the good means in others.
That's from lesson Reish Pei Beis, lesson 282 in Likutey Moharan, where the Rebbe talks about that you have to find good in everyone, but also find good in yourself.
I think he mentioned that what I just said was somewhere in Likutey Moharan too.
It's in Likutey. I just told you where it's in. It's in lesson 282.
Faith in God, faith in tzaddikim, faith in the Torah, and faith in ourselves.
Yes. That's finding the good. That's finding the good in yourself. That's the faith. You have good in you. Believe in yourself. You can do well. You will be well. You will do well.
So that's...
You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that you can do good because you are good. And how do you do that? By connecting to Hashem.
And which number was that again?
282. Lesson 282. Reish Pei Beis. It's one of the most famous lessons in Likutey Moharan. All right?
Yep.
We learned that in our class. We had a class on Reish Pei Beis. We learned that lesson together. Okay, can we go? Should we start the next chapter, or should we?
We can start. I've got about 5 minutes.
Okay, we didn't learn much. We didn't get much done today.
We got a lot done.
Well, we got a lot done, but we only learned for half an hour.
That's all we learned for? But we got a lot done.
Yeah, we got to do a little bit more. Okay, let's start Lamed Gimel. Okay, Lamed Gimel. So every day we say in the morning in the davening, we talk about it in the davening. We do the Shmon Esrei, we do the Tachnun, and then we say Ashrei Uva L'Tzion, right? Uva L'Tzion Goyim. Right? We say those words. We know those words, right? It'll come to Tzion, the Redeemer, right? Geula. The Geula will come to Tzion, to the Jewish people. Lemizbar Yancha. From the Mizbah that we first say, Lemizbar Yancha Hashem Yayim Tzara, right? We talk about the Yayim Tzara. After the Yayim Tzara, the day of difficulty, comes the Geula. So we have this in our davening. We say the Ashrid and we say the Lamatzeach, right? We say the Lamatzeach. We talk about the Yayim Tzara. That's the birthing again. That's the birthing. And then we say, Uval Tzion Goyel. The Tzion's going to come to Geula. Because I go through the pain, but the pain is not the pain. The pain is my birthing. The pain is my birthing. I'm coming to the Geula. I'm going to have my redemption. Ki mevoya bekavonos in the Priyetz Chaim. Okay. Shemizma yancha oimim kidei lahoylid hamoichin v'ashefa ulahamshicham lazel oilam. And as I say that Mizma Yancha, the pain, the groan, The groan. Why am I talking about that? In order to bring, to be holy, to give birth to that mind frame. V'hashefa la'amshicham l'zayil, to bring it into this world. See, we when we put on the Rabeinu Tam Tefillin, we connect back to the mind of Hashem. That's very lofty. But how am I going to get it down in this world that I can use it? How am I going to benefit by that in this world, actually? Okay, that's what we're learning here. How we can bring it into this world that I can benefit by it. Shivim Tevin. And that's why there are 70 letters, 70 words in that mizmar. There are 70 words in that mizmar. In that little chapter of the Tehillim, there are 70 letters, 70 words. Why? Kineged Shivin Koilin, because there are 70 wails, 70 cries. A lady will give out at least 70 groans, 70 cries, wails, before she gives birth. A lady will give out 70, some kind of groan, some kind of pain, something. 70 of them before she gives birth. 70. And in that mizbah we have 70 words to the 70 koilin, the cries that the lady gives out. And then it was uvalat tzia in Gaya. And that's where the geula comes from.
Is that the one that's 100?
No, that's not the one. That's not 100. No, that's after the Asher. 1 second. Hold on. Now, Hainu. Ki ha-geula hu bechinas haylada. The whole idea of the geula, the whole idea of the redemption, is an idea of haylada, giving birth. Shebo achar chevlei haleda, that comes after the birth pangs of the birthing. Shein bechinas chevlei shel Moshiach. That's the whole idea of the birth pangs of Moshiach coming. Valkin chevlei leda heim shivim kolin. And that's why the birthing is 70 cries, 70 wails. David HaMelech lived 70 years. David HaMelech is David Melech HaMashiach, right? 70. Ki ikar haylada hu haylada samaychen. The main thing of being born, birth is being born to us, is that mind frame that I'm new, that everything is new, and I will be successful. I will persevere. I will see success in my life. To always have a new service of Hashem. To wake us up from our spiritual slumber. Shehi bechinas ibor. That's the idea of the fetus. The fetus is asleep in the mother's womb, right? That's the whole idea of the fetus. Is relaxed, is tranquil, nice. Everything is good there. Kayadua. Valkein heim shivim kolin keneged hashivim panim l'Torah. And we also know there are 70 ways to understand Torah. Shivim panim l'Torah. There are 70 different explanations of every aspect of Torah. So if you think you know one thing in Torah, guess what? There's another 69 you have to learn. In every single aspect of Torah. How do you like that? 70. 70 cries the lady gives out before she gives birth. David HaMelech lived 70 years. 70 aspects of Torah. 70 understandings of Torah.
Does somebody have a list of that?
Shehem, 1 second. Shehem bechinas klolius hamoichim. That's the idea of the klolius of the moich, the all-inclusiveness of my mind. Shetzrichim lohaylil lahamshich kedeilis oire meshinosai. I need to give birth in order to get out of my spiritual slumber. Vinifilosi. V'lachzer la'atzmai kol hashivim panim l'Torah, to bring back to me all the 70 different aspects of Torah. Sha'ovad v'lachzer lahaska lichyois mechodash, that I lost, that I have to now bring back, and I have to live my life now anew. Shezeh bechinas ha'geula bifrat bichlal. That's the idea of the geula bifrat, specifically for each and every one of us, and bichlal, all of Jewish people, the whole nation of the Jewish people, the whole world for that matter. When the Redeemer comes and we have the Geula, it'll return back the willful sinners of Yaakov. The willful sinners will come back. Specifically the willful sinners. Sheheim Balei HaTshuva HaMeschatchen. Those are the Balei Tshuva. Those are the people that come back with Tshuva. Even though they did things willfully against Hashem. But they turn back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You hear this, only 2 more minutes. They turn back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yemeim she'avru b'chayshach, those days that were in darkness. They could bring them back and bring those days now into light. Bring those days into light. To have a newness, a new life, a new aspect, a new perspective of life. Bebechinas hashivenu Hashem elecha v'nashuva chadesh yameinu kikedem. Redeem my days, return me Hashem like the days of new, like the days that they were. After we say that Mizma Yancha. It's talking about the birth pangs of the birthing. We say HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we should see the Uvalatzia and Gael should come, and we should experience this understanding that we're mamish new, and everyone's going to turn back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we're going to see the coming of Moshiach Emetz Hashem, the building of Bayis Shlishi, on Hara Bayis, instead of that stupid building that's standing over there, and the world will see it, and the world will understand that Hashem is the Melech al Kol Aretz, B'yayim Hu Hashem Echad U'Shmai Echad. Thank you, everybody.